videos on Voices of the Unheard. We are To Be Stream, a global youth media initiative, and you're keeping it ugly with me, Joe Ugly, and the Reverend Boise Kimber, a civil rights activist. As we discussed last night's election results, I want to also touch base with him on local leadership and community engagement. May as well start keeping it ugly, of course. Rev, first of all, I gotta welcome you to this great space of ugliness.
Thank you so very much, and it's a delight to be in Joe Ugly studio.
Oh man, it's the man himself. Every time I see the Rev, I'm like, okay, we gotta have him on the show, and this has been for years, and then finally now we have you on, and may as well dive in. Your resume, this man's resume, in case like I just stated that he is a civil rights activist, the Reverend Boise Kimber. Now you're part of the National Action Network. You work with them?
National Action Network. I'm one of the longest board members.
Oh, okay.
I started out with Reverend Sharpton.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been there. I'm on the board of Rainbow Push.
Mm-hmm.
Civil rights has been my life.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in a little small town in Alabama.
Yeah.
Phoenix City, Alabama.
Now make sure that it's pronounced Phoenix or Phoenix? Phoenix.
Phenix.
Without the O. Okay, go ahead.
And so grew up there. Understood the George Wallace, grew up under his family.
Oh my God.
And saw how he operated and saw how his counterpartners operated,
mm-hmm.
and saw how white people in general operated back in the day in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And so I became a lover of civil rights.
Okay.
I did my first march when I was in high school, around the 10th grade in high school. And we did this march.
What was that about?
Well, we were celebrating Dr. King's birthday.
Oh, okay.
And I did a march from the gymnasium
mm-hmm.
all the way up to the front of the school where the flag was.
Okay.
And we had
the Alabama state flag or the U.S. flag?
The U.S. flag.
Okay.
And we had prayer there and we sung.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I was able to get the press there.
Oh, okay.
To cover us. So I have had been in contact with every civil rights leader but Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh man.
They've been to our church.
Mm-hmm.
I have been intimately involved with social justice,
mm-hmm.
and I believe that if Black people are going to really survive in this white space,
mm-hmm.
then social justice has to be a key to our freedom
mm-hmm.
and a key to our survival.
I'm ready to call you Judge, but Rev, the thing that I look at with race issues, and especially like recently, there was an article written by Michael Jefferson, another civil rights. He's a criminal lawyer, but he does, Mike does a lot of civil rights. I don't know if you saw the article in the New Haven Independent, and it was about how we have to come together with the Latino community in particular. And the pushback that I have on something like that is that the community itself, like we have in our spaces of the Black community, we have nationalities of origin and we have different cultures that we bring to it. But in the Latino space, there is nationality of origin, culture, and race. And there is what I would call the whitening of the Latino race, the Latino community, which that sector of really and truly don't want to work with us and would do everything in power in their space to stop us from advancing. And I've experienced that firsthand.
I think you're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I deal with is the fact that whenever I have a press conference,
mm-hmm.
I talk about Black.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about Black and Brown
mm-hmm.
because Brown ain't with us.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the reality is,
And you know, if I could just interject, if you don't mind, some brown are not with us, so I guess I should. I look at it more like,
well,
you know,
that's your point of view.
there you go,
You know,
and that's
some.
fair. That's fair.
And what I'm saying is, I do not see
Mm-hmm.
the coalition of brown clergy persons
Oh, okay.
coming together
Mm-hmm.
and fighting the issues that are plaguing both communities.
Mm.
Why do we have a Black and Hispanic caucus
Mm.
on a local level and a state level? Because there is no togetherness.
Mm.
They're out to get what they feel as though they deserve,
Mm-hmm.
and we're out to try to hold on what we have already fought for.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that somewhere maybe we can come together on some issues, but there are too many groups in the Hispanic community. You got the Mexicans. You got
Mhm.
all kind of groups.
Mhm. That's the
there.
national. That's what I was talking about when I said
Yes.
the nationality of origin.
Right.
And there are such massive divide within that ranks as well. But when it appears that we're needed to come together against us, it's really stacked against us so hard. So we get it from white America, and then we have those who we thought were with us are really and truly not.
See, I think that we've got to come to the reality that Black people are alone and fighting this fight.
Yes.
You look at the liberals. You would think that the liberals would fight along beside us, but they are fighting for what they can receive from us.
Correct.
And the gains in which they can make by saying that they are with us.
Correct.
They're not with us. We are all alone fighting this. You know, just for instance, last night in Florida, Florida has turned into a red state.
Total red.
DeSantis did it.
Let it go.
I mean, drawing the line.
Yes.
How do you get 4 or 5 new congresspersons?
Correct.
Out of
Florida.
So you see the blatantly racism that is occurring right in front of us, and here we're trying to. The Democratic Party is trying to figure out what they need to do. Well, the Democratic Party has got to become nasty, just like the Republican Party.
I think that we sit back too much and we let a lot happen. We should be pushing more of our stuff. I don't think we necessarily need to be nasty as they do, but I think we should.
We gotta stand. We gotta
stand. Of course, I agree with that.
And standing and showing, we've got to make some bold decisions.
There you go. I concur.
About are we going to partner? We cannot partner with the Republicans in this environment that we're in.
I agree.
We can't do it.
I agree.
You look at how they did Barack Obama when he wanted to place a person on the Supreme Court.
Right.
And here, before Trump left, Trump waved in at least 2 or 3 new individuals. 2 of them. Two new individuals. Right. And so we're in this fight. We're in this fight, and we are in this fight alone because there are individuals who are in office that are the same color that we are, but do not understand the process and will not stand up against the powers that be when it comes to our community and what our community needs.
I call them BICOs, black in color only.
Yes.
And they are out there, and they actually stand in the way. They actually create problems, like you just highlighted Florida. And Florida goes right along with what I was saying. There is a strong shift to the Republican Party in Latino males. When you look at Florida, the I-4 corridor should be strong Democratic area. Because if you want to look at what Democrats stand for versus the Republicans, you would see that Miami went to DeSantis.
Yes.
How in the hell? Now, here's a question I had to ask: is Val Demings? I was shocked that she got blown up.
Well, I wasn't. I knew that she was not going to win based on the demographic, based on the Hispanics that are there who feel as though the white male, the Hispanic feels as though they're white males.
The whitening of the Latinos.
And they take on the quorum that we don't have to work with black people.
Right.
But the bottom line is that we have got to send a message. I send a message every day. I talk to politicians every day, and I'm not looking for nothing from the politician, but our community is looking for something from the politician. Listen, they took the money. These red states was against Joe Biden and giving out the loans and trying to lift people, and they voted against it. But when the money got to their state, they gave the money out.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, this is what I'm giving you, but you voted against it.
Now,
how hypocritical can you be?
Not only did they give out the money within rank, they had the balls to make it part of their campaign.
Yes.
They had the balls. How do you say, oh, yes, this is what I brought to the state? When you literally voted against it, and that goes back to civics, understanding our civics, and blindsiding or should I say the electorate, by not letting them know how to keep up with this stuff.
Listen, Donald, this environment was already present when Donald Trump took over as president.
Correct.
But after he took over as president, Donald Trump became what he was before he became president.
Correct.
And here we have January 6th in this country because he wanted to take over. And right now, if it was you or I who had done what he has done, we would never. They would have electrocuted us by now.
Not only that, not even in his space. If you and I had, let's just say Barack Obama had did what he did, and you and I had showed up at the Capitol, that we would be in body bags right now.
Yes.
Called criminals.
Yes.
Okay? Have a marker on our gravestone right here. Here lies the criminals that tried to kill democracy.
Yes.
The traitors. We would be everything that you could look at. We know how that goes. I'm speaking with the Reverend Boise Kimber, civil rights activist here out of the city of New Haven. This man has been on the forefront. He has been fighting for a lot of justice out here. Just touch base on, but we started to talk about the politics on a national level. On a local level, I look at races, like right now, the 5th District is not even called yet.
Yes.
And this is Johanna Hayes versus a black man in color, a Republican, George Logan, who, and the reason why I could say a black man in color, BICO, reason I could say that is because look at his views.
Yes.
Just look at his views. Does it really meet people of color? Now, you know he's playing the Latino card.
Oh, yeah. But listen, when a white person, male or female, want to get rid of you, they always go and find one of us.
Like Georgia. Which is such an insult to think that, the mere fact that Herschel Walker have all those votes. I really have to question our people, too. I have to hold our people to the fire as well, too. How in the heck do you vote for someone just because he know how to run a football?
But that's what they think of us.
But we're allowing them to continue this. There should not be a runoff in December.
Well, it's a runoff. It was Trump who created Herschel Walker, and Herschel Walker was somewhat like Trump when it came to women, when it came to abortion. He carried the bag.
Right.
And here, one of the major things is that the evangelical church.
Oh boy.
Those white men and women who say that they are Christians would stand with someone like Donald Trump, someone like Herschel Walker. They have turned religion into a mockery.
Total mockery. Amen on that
so
one.
I'm not cool with their God. Yeah, I'm not cool with it.
You know, this is why every time someone says, "Hey, you know, I'm praying for you," I always say, "Be careful now. I don't know who you pray to."
Right.
You know?
right. So we, you know, we are dealing with wickedness in high places.
Well, you said that, you know, I read your resume, and your resume is strong. You've been doing this for many years, and you've been a strong leader in the community. Is there anyone, and I think at some point we have to realize that we have to do this. Is there someone in particular, or multitudes that or many, I should say, not multitude, but many that you are grooming, and they have to groom to take your space, because we're not going to be here forever?
Yes. Several young men. One is a young man by the name of Robert Smith.
Okay.
There's a young lady by the name of Carolyn Moore.
Okay.
There is John Lewis.
Out of New Haven?
Everybody is in New Haven.
Okay.
And so I meet with them on a regular basis.
Okay.
To share with them about what is happening in New Haven. So what individuals don't know is that New Haven has a mayor that has the mind of a Donald Trump.
Well, he is a conservative Democrat. There's no question about that.
How can you be a conservative Democrat and at the same time holding people back and don't even have a real program?
Well, that's a conservative Democrat. That's at 100. I mean, when you look at, take for example, Oregon. I mean, Oregon, most liberal state in the country, more Democrats now. Well, guess what? How many blacks you see in Oregon?
Yeah, but you cannot.
And they don't let you.
But you cannot be a liberal Democrat when.
No, he's a conservative. He's a conservative.
Well, he cannot be a conservative Democrat when he is dealing with 70% with black and Hispanic.
And I agree with you.
Trying to be a liberal or a conservative versus being liberal. Listen, black people are in trouble in New Haven.
Yes, we are.
You
look at housing.
Look at how I'm telling you, housing. There are no affordable. Every apartment that they're building in this city is not affordable for.
And if
for
it's
black
affordable,
people.
That's very subjective. What the hell is affordable? Well, what's affordable? Seriously,
a one bedroom for $3,000.
That's not affordable.
No.
Affordable to whom?
Yeah, but we have our local legislators who are voting to build 500 apartments for people who work in New York, who can live here cheaper than they can in New York, and they can get on the train and be in New York within an hour and a half for work.
You know, people always do stuff. You know, they always do stuff until it hit home. Those same legislators are going to find themselves homeless, and it can happen. It can happen.
It's happening right now.
If they don't find themselves voting on the right things, their taxes could push them out. The cost of living could push them out. There are a lot of things. You might own your home right now, but you can still get pushed out. That's what gentrification is all about.
And that's what
that's what they don't understand.
Listen, you grew up in New Hallville.
Sure did. Proud New Hallville.
I lived in New Hallville. I have pastored in New Hallville for 36 years.
Amen.
And here, listen, we have a white alder in the 21st ward. And when
wait a minute.
When New Hallville.
Wait a minute. Before you go any further, please understand, people. The 21st ward is the Ville.
It's the Ville.
That's a good. We talk New Hallville. That is Winchester, all the way to the end of the town, which is Goodrich, all the way over to, I think it's Munson Street.
Yes.
All the way back over towards Southern.
Yes.
That's the 21st ward. Winchester, Goodrich, Munson, all the way on over to Southern.
Yes. Down to Hill House High School.
Yeah, all that, right. All that over Crescent, back over, but there's no housing over there. There's the big bone field. But you think going all the way back around to King Robinson School.
Yes.
This is a predominantly black community.
Yes.
And it's always been. This is where black ownership was.
But here's what they did. They changed the lines. And the line go over to Prospect now. And people from over to Prospect come over the hill. That was the 19th. Come over. Well, it's divided now.
Wow. When did that take?
Oh, that took place probably maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
And so that's what we are dealing with our local legislators. Is sitting there drawing the line and drawing us out of the line.
Really? Because that used to be the 19th ward, which went all the way to Winchester, to Whitney, back up to the Hamden border, to Edward Street.
Yes.
And that was it was
Huntington Street.
Right. It went all the way on over to Goodrich.
Yes.
All the way on into Reservoir, that little road, that circle, it's a little cul-de-sac up in there that go down to Cliff Street.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the 19th, now that was a predominantly white because it's one of the most affluent neighborhoods in the city, Prospect Hill.
Now, your mother served.
That's right. My mother ran the 19th ward. She was the order. She was the order of the 19th. That's why I know it so well.
Yes.
So, and then it was divided on Prospect Street.
Yes.
As far as economic statute, going from Prospect Street to Winchester, on the eastern end of Winchester, was blacks. At one point, it was mixed. It was highly mixed. When I first moved there, it was highly mixed, and then it became blacks by the 80s.
Yes.
Look, Rev, we mentioned something just now in regards to house. But hold on, I don't want to drift off on what you were saying about who runs the 21st ward.
I mean, we've never had a white person who was alder
of the 21st
or the 19th
or
the 20th.
The 19th had Ruby Poley at one time.
Okay,
that was it.
That was it. Right, I remember her.
Right,
I remember. So. Look at the gentrification.
Oh, absolutely.
It's taking place.
Which is really interesting that I always say, schools are always bad in the neighborhood until they start to gentrify.
Yep.
The same school is going to be there. Lincoln Bassett is going to be there, but I guarantee you in 5 to 10 years, Lincoln Bassett is going to be one of the most affluent schools in the city.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be gentrified. Home ownership in New Hallville was strong in the black community. Businesses were strong in the black community in New Hallville. That was a big thing. Now, I was asked once, what happened to that home ownership? Where did all the blacks go? And I had to explain it to them. When you look at those homes that are in New Hallville that were built in the 20s, 1920s, 100 years ago, okay? Anywhere from, they were pre-World War II. Those are post-World War I homes, okay? They were owned by Irish, Italians.
Yes.
That was predominantly those who were the working class in that community. Then those homes did not go to black community, to blacks until the 60s. They started dribbling in the late 50s into when there was that white flight to suburban America, and that space, blacks did not get hold of it. Let's just say until a stronghold until the 60s. Those homes at that point were 40 years. 40 years wear and tear.
Yep.
Here's the problem. In order to do something with it, of course, now you got to build up equity in the home. That took another 10, 15 years? Mm-hmm. So you're looking at the 60s or 70s. So you're looking at 80s to the 90s.
Yes.
It's when you finally built equity in it. And then the banks say, oh, no, we can't give you loans to fix it up. We can't give you equity because guess what? Even if they saw a value in it, they wouldn't do it because you had lead and asbestos in those homes. So they would redline you out. So now what is there for someone to do? You can't fix up your home so you can build up your community, so you could keep the drugs down. You could even send your kids to school that they can help advance a next generation. Of course, blacks were at that point where, I don't have any asset. Why am I staying here paying a mortgage on a rent for? So they walk. A lot of people walk away from it. Those who even burned the mortgages after a while, they were tired. So they moved on and they walked away. Here came the contractors or the absentee landlords. A lot of them came with this vinyl siding. Didn't even fix up the homes. Just throw vinyl siding. It's all over this outside. Made it look good on the outside. Things was falling apart on the inside.
If you look at our street, Sheffield Avenue.
Sheffield, the great Sheffield.
Sheffield Avenue. Mm-hmm. I lived at 100 Sheffield.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing from one end of Sheffield all the way to the other end was black families and people.
There you go.
That was it.
That was it.
And until I remember when.
Well, it's gentrifying now. You know that.
Oh yeah, beyond gentrification.
We still have my family home over there, and yeah. Oh man, we were standing. We hold on.
Yeah.
It's gonna go from one family to another, to one person to another. No, but I drove through, and I'm over there a lot, and because of a family member, and I remember driving up Winchester Avenue. I'm like, oh shoot, white people walking dogs on Winchester Avenue now.
Not afraid.
Not afraid. Hold on, it gets better. We had a DJ here with us who also used to DJ at the Taurus. Dude, white people in the Taurus dancing, man. I was like, what? White people in the Taurus dancing.
It's their community now. It's no longer a black community.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
They are part of that community now.
Speaking of mayor of the city of New Haven, today starts the first day of the election season, which, of course, kicks in for him for next year. Where do you stand with that?
New Haven is in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mayor who do not understand policies and have not done anything to lift communities since he has been mayor. Mm-hmm. What he does do is every day or every other day there is a press conference, cutting a ribbon, having a press conference about violence, but nothing about what you're going to do for the moral fiber of the people who live here, who are disenfranchised, who cannot speak for themselves. Listen, all of the money that came from the CARE Act, where did that money go? Didn't go to our community. We still don't have Wi-Fi in Newhallville.
What?
There's no Wi-Fi in Newhallville.
Do they have it in other areas? Please expand.
I'm almost sure they have it in other areas, but I'm talking about where a lot of poor people live. You got 3 schools there. You got Lincoln Baxter. You got King Robinson.
That's what I'm saying. It's okay, just because it's not in another area. I just want to know where's I want to pinpoint the discrepancy or the discrimination. That's what I'm looking to do.
The discrepancy is we don't have it.
Okay.
And 2022. that our kids cannot get on Wi-Fi in Newhallville, and with the millions of dollars that have come into the city, what would hurt this mayor to say, okay, I am putting Wi-Fi in Newhallville? What are we doing? What is he doing to lift poor people in this city? What is he doing with education?
Well, he's helping the Latino community now. Wait a minute.
Well, that's who he feels that will get him over. But there are not enough of them to vote him in.
Right. Registered because they're not citizens, right. As far as it goes. Go ahead.
But here we are, and here our local council people, our local ward chairs are being bamboozled by this Republican mayor who has come from New Canaan, came to Yale, got a Yale degree, and we traded Tony Harp for a white male.
Well, which is amazing because, some of the things that I heard people were saying about Tony Harp, it was just sickening to me. Oh, she didn't come to this. Oh, she did not come to this. What is she doing for the community?
Well, that's people.
She was doing a lot for the community.
That's people who are looking for an excuse. When Tony Hart was mayor, we had a black police chief. Tony Hart was mayor. We had a black chief of staff. We had the blacks in LCI. We had blacks across this city.
Wasn't Thomas Reyes chief of staff?
Thomas Reyes was the chief of staff. I don't know what he did, but he had the name of chief of staff.
Wow, he's coming out the guns here. He's coming out the guns. So first, let me just say this to my Latino brothers and sisters. I stand with you as long as you stand with me. You know, I have to address the issues that's plaguing my community. As the Rev said, I grew up in New Harville. That is predominantly black neighborhood. It is a black neighborhood, or was a black neighborhood here in the city of New Haven. It was a neighborhood of black ownership. It was a neighborhood of black progressive. It was a neighborhood of black advancement, black achievement. It is a neighborhood that blacks were very proud of.
Very proud of.
Very proud of.
We had our own cleaners.
Dry cleaners on groceries. We had our own. We had right there at the corner division in Dixwell was what's it? Bob's was the little grocery store. Yes. There. We had I could go through the list of stuff that we had. Dry cleaners, barber shops, hairstylists, you name it.
We bought from each other.
Exactly.
And right now in New Harville, it is a liquor store on every corner and a little store on every corner.
Bodega.
And here our people go there because they have no transportation to get to the bigger stores.
Food deserts.
Yes.
We have become New Harville is indeed a food desert. I think that and Rev, this may be to you. Maybe you should partner with the likes of Target and see where you could get a vest bucket Target in New Harville. Squeeze out half of those damn bodegas. Right?
Well, I'm just saying. The problem with that is that the legislators who could help do not understand economics. Listen, we have got to deal with competent individuals and people who can read and write and understand what their language is saying.
Wait a minute, we're not hiring people we could have a beer with anymore. We're not electing those. Sarcasm.
No, we're not.
Sarcasm.
We're not electing people like Chuck Allen anymore.
Right.
We're not electing people like your mom anymore.
The great Nora Barker Joseph.
Great Nora Barker Joseph. We're not electing people like Jim Newton and Josh and that whole crowd of young men who understood politics. And then, people were against Wendell Hart, but Wendell Hart...
It did so much for the black community. What is wrong, man?
Now, this community missed a person like Wendell Hart because Wendell Hart would never allow a white man to run for mayor without finding a black person to run against him.
Right. That's one thing. Wendell Hart was a machine. I mean, he ran hard with Hank Parker.
Oh, yes.
The great Hank Parker, they were hand in hand. There were the Bill Jones. There were the list goes on and on. Remember from Thompson Street, Morrison, Bruce Morrison.
Bruce Morrison.
Yeah.
I mean, we were blessed with great leaders, and they had great positions at the state level. We had
Tony Harp, our former mayor. She also came from that cloth.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Walter Brooks.
Oh, forget about it. Bill Dyson. Yeah.
That whole crowd. Yeah. The whole crowd who understood where the power was in New Harville.
Correct. And in the Dixwell, New Harville, and in the Hill too.
Yes.
Yeah. These are the leaders that we don't have anymore. It's about, for some reason or another, we have blacks, and we consolidate. We try to consolidate power too much to one or two individuals. We just named a list of individuals, and they all work together.
Right. They work together.
And that's what we have to get back to. We have to create those coalitions and build off of those coalitions. And that's why I talk about the next generation.
We can't be, listen, I'm a free black man.
There we go.
And I'm not up for sale.
There we go.
And I tell my congregation, I tell people in my community, I am a free black preacher that I'm able to say what needs to be said because I don't work for any of them, and then I don't want what they have because they don't have enough to buy me. Because if you're going to buy me, I got to take care of the whole community. I got to take care of housing. I got to take care of jobs. You know, there are things that we need in the community.
But what you said to those who said that, you know, only time Boise Kimber shows up is if there's a check involved.
Well, listen, they don't know me. I give out more checks than I receive. and you have to come to the conclusion that you're not out here fighting to liberate your community for nothing.
There you go.
And so you gotta have something to help the babies.
There we go.
And help the elderly. And so for me to stand up and say that I'm for you 100%, governor, state rep, senator, without me sitting and talking to you about what you're gonna do for this community. And it can't be a conversation if we don't talk about what you're able to do for the community. You're not buying my support. You are doing what you are supposed to do for disenfranchised people. And so when you say, well, Boise Kimber need a check, well, let me say this to you. Let me say this to Radio Land.
We're streaming over here. Give it to them.
The harvest is plentiful. But the labors are few.
Oh, true.
And so I need other people to go and plant. That we are able, come harvest time, to reap what we've planted. And so what I say to you is that we must leave a generation that understand what we understood with our forefathers and mothers. People say, well, why go vote? Why go vote? Listen, let me say this to you. We are people don't know, we are in great position now to have the next black governor of the state of Connecticut.
Yes,
we got a black secretary of state.
Yes, we do.
We got a black treasurer. You gonna make a deal with us? We either gonna be governor or we gonna be lieutenant governor. And that's what I got to get into the people's minds right now. That at the next election, because you in line and you white, you going to come to the table. Either we going to be governor or we going to be lieutenant governor. Because we have people in place that can do it. And it's time to do it. 300 years, 400 years of being a part of the constitutional state. It is time now that the constitutional state looks like what it needs to look like instead of us being the wheelbarrow.
You know, Rev, you bring something when you say 200-300 years, 400 years, something comes to mind. Now, I was speaking with someone recently, and he told me, you know, conversation was about that school up there across the street from you, across the street from your church, Amistad. And I said, I'm going to leave that alone. Let's not talk on that. Let's not go ripping any Band-Aids off. They say, well, what you talking? I just got over it. Just let me work with it. I was begging them, leave me alone. But they said, oh, Joe, come on. You don't like Amistad? I said, I don't like the name. I don't like what they stand for. And they say, well, come on. A lot of parents, you know, they want their kids there, you know. What was my reply? Young man is right here. I told him straight up. Those are the same parents who wants to get rid of Edmund Pettus' name off the bridge. Those are the same parents who wanted to get rid of General Lee's statue. Those were some of the same parents who were over in Worcester Square wanted to tear down Columbus statue. But yet you send your kids into a monument of a slave ship? I can't wrap my head around that, man.
Well, let me say this to you. White people think that they are redeeming themselves when they name something.
I don't buy that. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to buy that one.
Let me hear you.
You know, or they come off and say, Amistad means friend. Let me see them spell the word school with a Nazi S and put it in the Jewish community. See how long that flies. See if that flies. It would never fly.
But we allow
exactly
that kind of action,
yes,
that kind of thing to come to our community. Since we're talking about schools,
go for it.
So I am I am trying to start a all-boys school.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw that.
And the name of the school is Edmonds Cofield Preparatory Academy.
Okay.
You knew Dr. Edmonds?
Of course.
You are a member of
the Cofield.
There you go. Cofield.
Dr. Cofield's place.
And so we have got to save our boys.
Mm-hmm.
They are building jail cells at the third grade level.
Mm-hmm.
To put our young men in.
Mm-hmm.
And here in New Haven,
mm-hmm.
At the third grade level,
mm-hmm.
there are 81% of third graders who cannot read. 90-some% who cannot do math. And here you have a mayor who has not said one word about reading and math. You have a board of education that the mayor appoints 4 individuals. He with 5. I called them.
Mm-hmm.
I called the mayor and his chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mayor and his chickens.
Okay.
He is like the wolf.
Now, here's a question. I don't know the charter, but can he be on that board being the mayor?
Yes.
He can be on the board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so what I'm asking them to do
mm-hmm.
is that let's review the charter. It's time for us to review the charter.
Okay.
And I'm talking about education.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the number of people that he can appoint.
Mm-hmm.
He appoints more people than anybody in the state. The other people around the state,
mm-hmm.
they have to be elected.
Mm-hmm.
We only have 2 elected individuals. And so we got to deal with education.
Mm-hmm.
The Board of Alders got to deal with education.
Well, here we are right now. The current superintendent, this is her. She's retired. She's leaving out.
She's being forced out.
Okay. Forced out, retiring, however we're going to place it.
And that's because she has not done what she should have done
mm-hmm.
for this district.
Okay. So therefore, and I hear what you're saying, and we could ride into that, and we're gonna even go back to this, but I just want to tap on. Who do you see as the next person that you think that could step up? And I don't want to hear.
I don't see nobody that is on the staff now. I think all of them need to go. I think all the assistant superintendents need to go.
Okay.
They need to
but what about at the Board of Ed or in the school system altogether? Do you see someone? No one.
Well, I like Kermit, Carolina.
Thank you.
I think Kermit, Carolina would be a choice for me.
Okay.
And let me tell you why.
Please do.
I think that he have paid his dues.
More than that.
He has. He did an excellent job at Hill House.
Principal. Mm-hmm.
He has a way with young people.
Yes, he does.
And so I would vote for Kermit, Carolina. But Kermit would have to get rid of everybody that is assistant and bring in his own team.
Okay.
That would be his survival
mm-hmm.
In leading this district. But let me say this.
Hold on, before you go, I like that Kermit, Carolina thing. And here's why I would support Kermit, Carolina. One, he has the credentials. As far as being in the school, he has the credentials. I think he has a doctorate degree as well, right? Or he's going for his doctorate right now?
He's going for it, I think.
Okay, so he's in that realm of that. You don't need a doctorate to be the superintendent of the school. I'm just saying that's where he is. That's how his level of education is. He was a principal over at Hill House High. Did a great job. Then he was at the Board of Ed, and then with this guy leaving Wilbur Cross after 5 weeks of this school year, Kermit, Carolina stepped up, and he stepped in as interim principal over at Wilbur Cross, and he's doing a remarkable job over there. And I don't have to ask staff. I don't have to ask people I talk with the kids.
Mm-hmm. I
hear from the kids who talk about the first day or two. Oh, they didn't like him, but now they realize this is someone that they could work with.
Relate
this is someone who here's the words that's coming from high schoolers. He understands us. When you hear those words coming from kids, that's leadership. Now, hold on. They've got a little better than that. We had an incident downtown New Haven, a few of them. And then, you have 4 high schools getting together. they all let out at the same time. They all gather downtown now with the free buses, free city buses. They all jump on the city bus because now you could go home anytime. Even those who were supposed to be on the yellow buses are now on the city buses, and they're coming downtown. Created a situation right down here. I called Kermit. That's the only number I had. I didn't want to call the police. I did not want to create this military force down here on these kids, because I know that at some point of it is kids being kids. I called Kermit. He came down here with a cell phone and a walkie-talkie. Problem solved. The respect that man got from those kids, him by himself. The respect he got.
Yes.
They recognized they were dealing with someone, not just of authority, but someone
But
who cared.
what has happened with the Board of Education is that they have turned it into a political spot where they take care of their families and they take care of their friends. I believe that there needs to be a federal investigation with the finance of the Board of Education.
That's a big one.
Now, listen.
That's a big one, bro.
I told Dr. Reginald Mayo.
What would trigger something like that? What would make you believe that?
The way they give out contracts.
Okay.
And who they give contracts to.
Okay.
I said to Reginald Mayo, Dr. Mayo, dear friend of mine, love him to death. I said to
Love Doc Mayo.
I said, Don, when you leave, it'll be 10 years before they can see the light. Now I tell him it's 20 years now. Oh, how we miss Reggie Mayo.
Doc Mayo, I remember when he was there, a lot of people complained about him because they didn't understand the politics of it. And Reggie Mayo understood the politics of the Board of Ed along with electoral politics, and he knew how to make it work.
Joe Ugly, let me say this to you.
Yes, sir.
Reggie Mayo created the middle class black
Thank you.
in this city.
Thank you. Oh, not just the middle, the upper middle class.
He created that.
Yes, but
he gave people major jobs.
Yep.
And then
not just people who qualify.
Yes.
He gave people who are qualified
very
good job.
He created the middle class in this city,
and
he also
to people of color. Let's be very clear. People of color. Yes.
But he also reached back and created smaller jobs, paraprofessionals, and gave them insurance.
And right, but here's the thing about the paraprofessionals. Those are people, in case you don't know, if you're not from the area, you don't know exactly what their roles are. They're like substitute teachers. They come in and they fill in. But the problem I see with that is, I know someone who's been there. Well, she's been around there for about 12 years now.
Oh, I know somebody been there 25 years.
That's a problem.
That's a major problem.
Why are these people put in a place? Because obviously they understand the system, the schools or such. Why aren't they elevated to go get their different degrees and credentials to move them up? Because they don't pay them enough. Let's start there.
That's what I want to start there.
Okay. They don't pay them enough so they can actually go.
Right.
So
they're wondering why there is a shortage of teachers.
This should have been a pipeline for the last 25, however many years that Reggie Mayo put this in place. This should have been a pipeline for teachers and teachers of color to move up and encouraged to move up. But every time came hiring teachers in the city of New Haven, it was always, let's go look for this space, let's go out in this space, that space, opposed to who do we have in the pipeline that we're grooming to move on in the next 5 years?
It's not there.
So now we have a shortage of teachers, and it's a big problem.
And then we have a problem with kids going to school now.
Oh, that's such an
absenteeism.
Absenteeism is so high, it's almost like back in the 50s, if not before, where our kids were not getting education.
So we got major problems.
So what we're looking at here, and the question is it just something that happened or is it by design?
I think some of it is by design. There was a book I read some time ago that talks about the miseducated Negro.
Yes.
Yes. And here they know that education to the black man, a black woman can be dangerous to what they are trying to do to us and where they are trying to go in society. Mm-hmm. Listen, I have 4 degrees, and I don't even talk about it.
You should. Why not?
from all accredited colleges. Mm-hmm. And I went back to school some years ago, mm-hmm. and I said, well, let me go get me a Yale degree. and see what they say then. Mm-hmm. So I went back and got a Yale degree.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm able to speak your language.
Yeah.
You want to respect Yale?
Yeah.
But then you may not respect me, but you got to respect the degree.
Big blue, baby. Big blue.
That's it.
Hey, I got one with that degree in there. I got the other one here. Big H.
That's
so I got the Ivy Leaguers around me.
Yeah.
My boys, the Ivy Leaguers, but that's another story. I don't even put it on blast. The way it is, Brett, first of all, I got to thank you so much for coming in here, sharing so much time with us. Reverend Boise Kimber, the man himself. We touched base on, we've been all over the place here.
Yes.
This has been real good. I got so much out of you. But I got to say, I haven't seen you on any of these other shows around here.
They don't want anyone speaking truth to power. and telling the truth about what is happening, mm-hmm. Not only in New Haven but in this state and around this country. Mm-hmm. I know it. Mm-hmm. I'm involved in it. Mm-hmm. I see it every day. Involved in the election in Georgia. Mm-hmm. I'm involved in a lot of elections. People call me. Mm-hmm. I know people all over. I did when Biden ran. I had a contract with the Democratic Party, mm-hmm. to work in the 10 battleground states. I understand, and people will say, Kimber is for the check. Why would I be doing this?
Well, the bottom line is, so what if your expertise, if that's your expertise,
you pay for that.
Exactly, that's what they're paying for.
You pay for that,
yep.
And I got a family. And right. I got to eat too. And then I got to make sure that my neighbor eat, and that my boys in town eat.
I had a conversation with someone recently who said to me, the thing about the likes of Kimber, Crump, Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, they say, these guys, they come to town. This is what someone was literally standing there telling me. They come to town and, they raise all this press women, and then they just leave. And what about, all the killings in our community? And I'm like, boys, that's not their job. That's not their job. Their job, in case you haven't realized, their job is to touch down and bring media with them. Put the national spotlight on it. That's your job. More than that, would we have a national attention on the Mr. Cox and Randy Cox situation had Mr. Crump didn't touch down? That's what we do. When you go places and you
yes.
touch down, you're bringing that national media. You're bringing that media. That's what you do. They gotta
understand it, man.
It's their job in community to make sure that you work then to address other issues. Since you got this, you got the platform. So run with it.
I have news people, mm-hmm. television and print, said to me some time ago, mm-hmm. They want to know. The higher uppers want to know why we cover you. I said, you cover me because I got something to say.
There you go.
You cover me because you're in the business of putting the news out there. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking about the issues that plague the people in whom I serve. Mm-hmm. Listen, my final thing to you tonight.
Don't let it be a final. Keep talking.
Yeah. My thing is that. For 28 years, mm-hmm. the New Haven Police Department mm-hmm. has either had a black chief or a black assistant chief.
Mm-hmm. We don't have it now.
I went to the mayor.
Yep.
I went to Miss Dominguez, mm-hmm. and I said, listen, can you all give us now, check this out. Mm-hmm. what we've always had. And both of them, in essence, said no. And I said, that's not a good answer at all. I then went and carried the city to court.
I know. I wanted to touch base with you on that, and I'm glad you're bringing that. Okay, go ahead, continue.
Carried them to court and won the case.
Yes, you did. Now, did Jerry Barber represent you?
Jerry Barber.
Now, did he win last night? Or
he didn't win.
He didn't win last night.
He didn't win last night, but he in line to win. Won the case. There are two other cases that I am about to carry them to court on, and I will win. I will win. I'm just holding on to see what they're going to do for the community and how they're going to lift us. But if it doesn't happen, you will be reading about that. You must use the weapons of your warfare in order to deal with how they're coming at you and coming at your community.
Correct.
Transparency, and that's what I'm trying to tell this mayor. Transparency. Ain't no transparency here. City Hall has been closed going on 3 years.
Correct.
And I'm accustomed, even back when Ben DeLito was the mayor, that the doors of City Hall was always open. So you go, your mom worked with Ben DeLito.
Yeah, of course.
And I keep bringing up your mom because she was just awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
thank you.
So if you go to City Hall now, you can't even get in. You have to, the doors are shut. And that you have to have an appointment, and that in order to get in, it's a key card now.
The whole City Hall, the whole building there?
No, the mayor's office.
Oh, the mayor's office. Yes.
Ain't nobody gonna attack this mayor.
Well, Tony Harp had an open door policy.
Open door policy.
Yeah.
And if anything was going down, she had a security right there.
Yeah. She always kept security right there.
So we've got to keep fighting.
Listen, it's a big fight. And the struggle continues. And I thank God, like someone once said to me, Stanley Rogers, he make a lot of noise. I say Stanley Rogers got a space. This is way back in the 80s.
Yes, sir.
Back then they say Pete Gray make a lot of noise. I said Pete Gray got a space.
That's right.
This is back in the 80s.
That's right.
Anybody who wanted to say Boise Kimber make noise, Boise Kimber got a space.
Got a space. And
the bottom line, from the minute we agree with that, those who wants to say noise and try to shut you down. But that's when they start to take advantage.
Oh, yes. We sing a song in the country, I shall not be moved.
There we go.
Because I've been planted by the river.
There you go.
I shall not be moved.
I thank you so much for coming on here,
man.
It was great having you. You're a great guest. And listen, man, you got an open door policy with me. You can come on back anytime you want to. We talk about a lot of great stuff and keep it going, man. You guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, hit that notification button so you can definitely hear every time that we come live and hot for you. The Right Reverend Minister, Dr. Boise Kimber. Take it out.